Driving on the Missouri State University campus is a privilege. This privilege requires the use of all of your senses at all times, as there are many challenges to be aware of that you may not have encountered during normal on-road driving. Hello, I'm Rich Berry, Safety Administrator at Missouri State University. The purpose of this training film is to make you aware of the additional hazards that you may encounter while driving on the Missouri State University campus and to help prepare you to handle them properly. Failure to comply with these safe driving practices will result in written or verbal warnings or even termination of employment if not adhered to. Vehicle safety on this campus is serious business. As a driver, you have responsibilities that you and only you can perform. Anytime you are in control of any of these on or off-road vehicles, you must be aware that students, guests, and employees walking or bicycling on campus always have the right-of-way. As a driver, you must be aware of all the danger zones throughout the campus. Not only must you yield to pedestrians you can see, you have to be aware of the fact that people may be walking in an area that you may not be aware of and can enter into your vehicle's path abruptly. As a driver, make it a practice to become observant of the areas that you may be driving in while on the Missouri State University campus and learn where potential hazards may exist. When possible, follow the well-marked bicycle lanes, as these lanes were placed to keep Missouri State University a safe campus for bicyclists, pedestrians, and drivers alike. Remember that in the bikeways, the bicycles do have the right-of-way. While staying on the red bike paths will help avoid some pedestrian traffic, it is also important to remember some basic driving rules. Never follow anyone or another vehicle too closely. Following pedestrians too closely can cause you to run up on them should they stop. You have to realize that you have much more forward momentum and you could injure someone should they stop suddenly in front of you. A good rule of thumb is to always have enough space in front of you to move out of the way if you need to move in a hurry without having to stop and back up. Leave yourself a way out. We have many large trucks that enter the maintenance drive area and stop. Driving your vehicle too close to the back of one of these vehicles blocks you from the driver's view. We have had some accidents because these trucks started to back up, not knowing that there was a small vehicle behind it. Never pass or go around anything you cannot see around, like our shuttle buses, for example. Doing so could result in a head-on accident or an injury to a pedestrian that might step out from the front or back of the shuttle bus. The same safety rules should apply here that we use while driving on the street when we encounter stopped school buses. It is better to be patient than be a patient. Speaking of being patient, we need to remember not to speed on campus. Never speed. Speeding has a direct effect on your ability to control your vehicle. Speeding affects your braking distance. It affects the amount of area it takes for you to make a safe turn, and your vehicle's physical condition determines the ability to safely go at certain speeds. Remember, speed directly affects your ability to maintain control and drive safely on campus. So when driving on campus, sidewalks, and bikeways, the speed limit is limited to about walking speed. The 3 rules just shown are some of the basic lessons in safety for driving on campus. Along with these 3 points, you need to ask yourself this question before starting out in a vehicle. Does my vehicle meet the equipment requirements for driving on the Missouri State University campus? Along with a safe vehicle, the university also requires that you have a valid driver's license from one of the 50 U.S. states. All of the vehicles we just mentioned require a standard reflective triangle mounted on the back of the slow-moving vehicle and should be mounted at a height so as to be readily visible by normal traffic on the street. Missouri State University requires the use of turn signals if your vehicle is so equipped. You may know what you intend to do, but it helps to prevent accidents by informing others of your intentions as well. If you don't have turn signals, make it a habit to learn and use proper hand signals to signal your direction of travel. This means signaling prior to the action and not halfway through a turn or stop. The university also requires the use of seat belts for all persons, including passengers in your vehicle. If your vehicle seatbelt is broken or inoperable, let your supervisor know as soon as possible so that the situation can be corrected. Your vehicle is also required to have working headlights if you are going to be traveling on campus after dark. You also will need side reflectors or reflective tape to make your vehicle more visible to other traffic and pedestrians if you intend to drive your vehicle at night. Also preferred by the Missouri State University is a flashing amber beacon on top of your vehicle. Even with all these special items, there are times when it is not going to be practical to try and travel across campus by way of the bikeways or sidewalks. These busy periods are during class breaks, which generally occur 10 minutes or so before the hour and can extend 10 minutes past the hour. Avoid these peak times when at all possible, as you will be expected to yield to pedestrians and bicyclists and not become a safety hazard to the students, faculty, and guests. We should also point out that only vehicles that have special turf tires, such as those found on the golf carts, are allowed to travel on grassy areas. If you do not have these special tires, you are not allowed to drive on the grass because regular tires are likely to create ruts in the turf. Doing so could result in disciplinary action. The only exception to this practice must be approved by a supervisor. The four-wheel drive vehicles are also prohibited from driving on any of the manufactured surfaces, which include running tracks, tennis courts, and artificial turf. Never drive any four-wheel drive vehicles on any of these surfaces, as damage may occur. Most of the vehicles we are talking about can carry more than one person. If you are going to carry passengers, make sure you know the safe passenger limit for your vehicle. Make sure your passengers keep their arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times and never allow any passenger to ride in the back of a truck or utility vehicle, as there are no safety provisions for passengers in those areas. While driving many of these vehicles, you may have the need to carry loads across campus from time to time. If you need to carry loads, do not allow your load to stick out past the side of the bed of the vehicle. Secure your load so it does not slide or fall off while in transit, and ask yourself, does this load need to be covered to prevent flying debris that could become a hazard to oncoming traffic or pedestrians? Know your vehicle's load limit and do not exceed recommended limits. Should you accidentally drop or spill part of your load, stop and clean it up before proceeding. Remember, you are responsible for your load, which includes the cleanup and safety requirements for whatever you choose to haul. On any given day, when we think we are doing everything right, bad things do happen. One of the most frequent accidents is the full-sized vehicle backing into the path of a small utility vehicle because the driver of the full-sized vehicle didn't or couldn't see the smaller vehicle. This accident can be avoided by slowing down and, where possible, provide as much space between rows of parked cars. If we follow all the recommendations and rules of this training program, we may still be involved in an accident. The mere fact that support vehicles share space with pedestrians creates the environment for a potential accident. Remember, pedestrians are not going to signal turns, stops, or lane changes. We are in their arena, and when we add powered vehicles, the sidewalk can be a dangerous place to be. Here are some basic steps to take if you, the operator of a vehicle, are involved in an accident, be it with another vehicle or a pedestrian. The first concern when everything comes to a stop should be, is the area safe? In other words, if you leave the vehicle controls, is it possible for more damage or injury to occur? Basic steps to take would be to shut down your vehicle and apply the parking brakes. The next consideration should be, what is my status? Are you injured? Do you need immediate medical attention? What about others involved in the incident? Do they need medical attention? When a mishap like this occurs, we tend to want to report it to our supervisor first. That is understandable, but in the interest of minimizing further damage and/or injury, the first notification should be to Missouri State University Public Safety Department. If you have a university radio, just change to the emergency channel and advise the dispatcher of your location, what has happened, and what you feel is needed. If you are not equipped with a university radio but have access to a cell phone, dial 836-5509 to advise public safety or dial 911. While university public safety officers are trained in first response medical care and incident management, our city's fire, police, and emergency medical services depend upon public safety to direct and facilitate their response on our campus. The public safety officers, the city's fire, police, and medical services all respond as a team and will render whatever aid is needed. Regardless of who the other participants in the accident are, you are urged to refer all statements to your direct supervisor. The primary concern should always be to render aid and care to those who need it, regardless of their role in the incident. In developing this safety training film for our Missouri State University, we ask this. Remember to always be courteous and use good driving practices, like using your turn signals, and keep your headlights on at night if your vehicle is equipped with them. If your vehicle is not so equipped, then use good hand signals, especially if someone is following you. It is always important to let others know your intent to turn or brake when sharing the roadways. Be courteous to others at all times and park in such a manner that does not block the path for others. Stay off the lawn unless your vehicle is equipped with the appropriate tires, and try to remember that everyone here at Missouri State University is important and we all deserve good and safe motoring practices.